anybody tell me whether they think Dartmouth is one that most people will think of as far as Ivy League schools. Then it goes, I'm doing this from memory.
I don't know anymore after that.
Right. Well, I'm not going to guess one that's wrong. So Brown certainly is. University of Pennsylvania. That's Donald Trump's alma mater. There's two with C's, and I always forget one of them. It's Columbia and then Cornell. That's the other one. So off the top, I memorized these at one point for kicks. Who knows why I memorize lists, but I do. And a lot of people would consider things like MIT and Stanford and maybe a few others. I know that some people call the University of Miami the Harvard of the South. I think that's pretty generous to the University of Miami, honestly, but it's a good school.
Those are popular schools. You know, a lot of people know that name. Almost everybody knows those schools.
Now, some of those, they have different student body sizes, though. It's a lot easier to get into Columbia than it is to get into Harvard. So you can claim Ivy League at that point, but, whatever. And I think Oxford probably in people's mind would be considered an Ivy League school, but it's in England and it wasn't established before. It was established before the United States Revolutionary War, but it's not in the U.S., so it's irrelevant. There's some other universities out there that probably would deserve the title of top tier, but people use Ivy League to stand in for top tier. Basically, that's how the language is used. And the reason people want to send their kids to these schools is because they understand that if you have a degree from one of these recognizable names, Harvard, Princeton, Yale, Stanford, MIT, Oxford,
some big company's going to hire you.
Right away. You're snatched up right away. But not just that inside any peer group, people are going to defer to you on certain topics.
Yeah.
Probably not NASCAR. But probably if you talk about politics, you'll get a certain level of deference. Why? Because you went to the right school. And that's silly, but it's true. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
Balance of Nature. Changing the world, one life at a time.
Heard your commercials for a long time, and I kept thinking, yeah, I'll look into that, and I just never did. And finally, I gave you guys a call and started. Well, I did tell the doctor when he asked me what I was doing. I said, have you heard of Balance of Nature? And he says, yeah, he actually had taken it at one time. I said, well, I'm doing that, and I feel great. I think it's helping and everything. And he says, well, good. He says, I should start that up again. I'm just happy, and I'm going to stick with it.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself. Receive 25% off your first preferred purchase of Balance of Nature. Plus, get a set of convenient travel bottles containing a free additional week's supply of Balance of Nature's fruits and veggies. With these discounts, you will still receive free shipping on every order. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FREETALKLIVE.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,480, silver at $17.27, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,305. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a white former Dallas police officer who shot her black unarmed neighbor to death after, she said, mistaking his apartment for her own, was convicted of murder Tuesday in a verdict that prompted tears of relief from his family and chants of Black Lives Matter from a crowd outside the courtroom. The same jury that found Amber Geiger guilty in the September 2018 death of her upstairs neighbor will consider her fate after hearing additional testimony that started Tuesday afternoon. She could be sentenced to from 5 to 99 years in prison under Texas law. The jury took a matter of hours to convict the 31-year-old Geiger after 6 days of testimony. Cheers erupted in the courthouse as the verdict was announced, and someone yelled, quote, "Thank you, Jesus," end quote. After the verdict was read, Geiger sat alone, weeping at the defense table. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. An illegal march in Hong Kong held on Tuesday to coincide with the 70th anniversary of Communist Party rule in China had mostly petered out by the late afternoon as the bulk of protesters left the starting point near Sogo, according to a report from the Mind Unleashed. But still, as has become a pattern in recent weeks, a small but dedicated group of protesters clashed with police, hurling Molotov cocktails and coming to physical blows. But for the first time since the protest started 4 months ago, a protester was shot by Hong Kong police officers on Tuesday. As video circulating online shows, a group of protesters attacked a police van, hurling sticks and other projectiles. Several officers got out and tried to chase them away, but one of the officers slipped and fell to the ground, where he was assaulted by several protesters. That reportedly led to the firing of several warning shots at the intersection of Waterloo and Nathan Roads in Kowloon. 2 officers suffered head injuries during the attack. Shortly after the incident, during a separate scene on Hoi Pa Street in Tu San Wan, a man was shot in the chest with a live round. A pair of young inventors from Mexico will unveil the very first organic leather made entirely from the nopal, or prickly pear cactus, this week, offering a sustainable, stylish, and eco-friendly alternative to leather. According to a report from the Mind Unleashed, the 2 innovators will be traveling to the Linapel International Leather Trade Exhibition in Milan, Italy, on Wednesday, where they will present the innovative leather substitute to the world's top designers, in hopes that the product can become a staple in the luxury fashion industry. For 2 years, the 2 men worked on creating the leather alternative that they claim is not only environmentally sustainable and entirely plant-based, but is also breathable and lasts for at least a decade. The invention comes as consumers and brands increasingly turn away from inferior faux leathers made with petroleum-based plastics, which are hard to clean and far less breathable than genuine animal leather. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Overburdened with material comforts, America's wealthy can expect another disappointing holiday this year. As Brian Scott tells us, the rich will simply be buying too many things to experience the true meaning of Christmas.
All across the country, those at the top of the economic ladder are denied a privilege that the poorest of the poor take for granted. Rather than fall victim to the rampant consumerism that seems to increase each year, the poor find meaningful joy in simple Christmas traditions, like singing carols to keep warm and hugging relatives who have not yet died. At stores like these, the spiritually bereft must scramble for popular holiday toys in a vain attempt to duplicate the Christmas-time happiness that the impoverished enjoy.
Poor people are grateful for just a roof over their heads or something to eat. My wife and I are both lawyers, so that's not enough for us. I certainly hope poor people don't take what they don't have for granted.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. Going on with my railing against this, what I consider to be a pretty bad ruling here. I'm not sure that I'm entirely sure that it's a bad ruling, because on one hand, I'm of the opinion that Harvard University is a private organization and should be able to determine what its admissions rules are.
A highly tax-exempt private organization. You know, all that land. I don't know if you've ever been through the Harvard campus before.
It's big.
I've delivered hay, like, on campus. You know, somebody owns a piece of property that's basically swallowed up, you know, surrounded by Harvard, because people own all kinds of land around Harvard, and then they give it to the school as part of their whatever, their will or whatever. But, like, even a town I live in, there's a big private college there, and the reason the property tax is so high, just like it's so high in Keene versus other areas, is because those colleges are all exempt from taxation, whether they're private or public.
Some colleges choose to give money to their towns as sort of a gift, but yes, they do protect their tax-free status, because what if we don't feel like giving one year, you know?
Well, and anyways, yeah. So, but they and Harvard itself is creating is very in bed with the whole parasite economy, the parasite class, and I mean, look at Elizabeth Warren.
Well, how many presidents have been Harvard grads? I mean, Harvard is,
and they're probably all scumbags.
Well,
because most of them are.
I did say presidents.
Yep.
So, anyway, going on with this article from Vox, which is clearly not intended to be middle of the road. An appeal could have a drastic effect on how elite schools use race in admissions, especially since last summer the Trump administration rescinded Obama-era guidance on race in admissions, urging schools to adopt a race-neutral approach. The Department of Justice also filed a statement of interest, siding with the plaintiffs in this case, arguing that Harvard failed to show that it does not unlawfully discriminate against Asian Americans. The Trump administration's involvement has made it clear that it sees discrimination against Asian Americans as something to solve by eliminating any consideration of race at all. With solid conservative majority now in place following Brett Kavanaugh's confirmation to the Supreme Court, there's a concern that if this case makes it to the court, it will end in affirmative action. It will end affirmative action entirely. Now,
yay!
I feel for the people that feel like affirmative action is important. I get where they're coming from. However, it's hard to say that we don't want a racially biased nation and then to support racial bias. You're only going to make people angry, because even if, and it's certainly true, Black Americans have had it rough for 400 years of U.S. history. But if you're talking about one black kid who's 18 years old trying to enter college and one white kid who's 18 years old entering college, tell them about what's fair. Just because Harvard's graduated a lot more white kids than black kids, or whatever the situation is, that, like, I'm not responsible for history. I'm not responsible for the actions of people who have borne the similar color to my skin. I'm not responsible for those things. I didn't do it.
Just like we're also not responsible for the debt that was put in our names decades before we were born, just like the debt today that, our grandchildren are expected to pay, essentially. The way the financial system works, they're not responsible for that either.
So at least the article has some pictures here of some angry Asians holding support SFA, fair admissions for all signs and these sorts of things. The SFA says it has found evidence that proves that Harvard is deliberately and illegally limiting the number of Asians Americans accepted, pointing to a part of Harvard's holistic interview process known as the personal rating. This part of the application process considers things like teacher recommendations, alumni interviews, and personal statements. The plaintiffs say that internal reports from Harvard's Office of Institutional Research suggests the university regularly underscored Asian American applicants on this portion of the review. They say Harvard regularly rated Asian Americans as less courageous or less likable than white students and admitted more whites than Asian Americans, despite Asian Americans besting whites in other metrics. So, this court case never dealt with minorities like blacks and American Indians and these sorts of things. It's only addressing the disparity between entrants of Asian Americans and whites and showing that there is, a complication there. And I think that's important because if you could eliminate if you eliminate the rules for Asians and just say, hey, look, you can't look at somebody's race and say you can't let many Asians in or whatever. That's wrong. It is wrong.
And the thing with Asians, with a lot of them, they'll just be able to tell by their name. It's a lot harder to, it's harder to tell the difference between, a white guy
and a black guy
based on the names because there's,
I used to live next door to a guy named Harrington, a black man named Harrington.
Right, unless mom or dad pick some very ethnic name, but even there's there's white people, that have names, and you could think that they were black.
Yeah, you could. It's certainly possible. Harvard countered that the reports were incomplete and did not fully capture the nuance of the school's admission process, and has said that weaker teacher recommendations are behind Asian American students' lower personal ratings. Both sides presented dueling expert analysis over the data. In the end, the judge ruled that Harvard's actions were not discriminatory. So when you have to say things like reports were incomplete and did not fully capture the nuance of the school's administration process, you're on the defense, like heavily on the defense. You're getting pummeled. Wouldn't it be better? And again, this is Harvard school. Harvard should be able to do what they want. Harvard should be able to introduce a completely non-white, student body, if that's what they want to do.
Sure.
Because it's their school. They should get to decide. But if we're talking about a, world where Harvard grads go out there and support, anti-discrimination laws and their professors and, whatever else is going on there, then they probably shouldn't discriminate. Let's just remove, seems the fairest to me. This is what I want, is I would like to see Asians get in to Harvard based on merit. Let's just remove things like race from the application. And if somebody wants to change their name in order to apply at Harvard, then they should be able to do that.
Yeah, people change their name just to run for mayor.
Right. Should it matter what somebody's name is?
Nope.
To whether they get in Harvard or not? Now, another thing that Harvard does, and many Ivy League schools do this, is they have legacy placement. So, for instance, if your dad or mom went to Harvard, then you're more likely to get a slot in Harvard. Obviously, you have to meet certain criteria, but the criteria is a little lower because, it's legacy.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, whatever Harvard wants to do, I agree with you.
But do you think it's wrong to do that? Because that's not merit-based as much.
No, it's not.
It has less merit, but I kind of, for whatever reason, I don't seem to have a problem with it because Harvard's always been sort of a class-based organization, but maybe I'm wrong on that. And maybe it should be entirely merit-based, and the children of graduates of Harvard, I think the reason they do it is because it gets them a lot of money. Harvard grad is more likely to make money. A Harvard grad is more likely to give money to Harvard if Harvard lets their kid in. Like, the way I would feel is I was good enough for me to get in, but my kid's not good enough. Well, I guess my money is going to be going to MIT or wherever my kid ends up going.
And there's a lot of back scratching going on both ways because, Elizabeth Warren, when she does a speech at Harvard, she gets paid pretty good money, I believe. I don't know what it was, but I know
she was paid pretty good money as a professor there, too.
That's right. She was a professor,
managed to only get the job based on, or part of the criteria of her getting the job was claiming to be an American Indian, part American Indian.
Was it American Indian or Native American? Because I would say if she was born in Massachusetts, she's a Native American. But and I'll defend her on that, even though I don't like her. But did she call herself an American Indian? That's a different thing.
I think when you check the box that you know what you're doing. But I mean, it's never. Yeah, in that circumstance, she knew it would benefit her. So
hey, I checked that box. I knew exactly what I was doing.
But
I was born.
How does
in
it
America.
benefit you? How has it benefited you?
Well, I didn't really care.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dinovite.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids,
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa,
the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. You can call in, talk about whatever's on your mind. It's Mark with you.
And Jay.
The number's 855-450-3733. It's 855-450. Free, as in freedom. Apparently, Bernie Sanders wasn't feeling so well. Got a story here about him ending up in the hospital getting heart surgery.
Oh, that's too bad.
Freedom's Phoenix is a liberty-oriented news aggregation site. If you want the newest and freshest stories and perspectives on current events from those who value liberty, freedomsphoenix.com has it. Their daily dispatch is the best way to stay up to date on science, technology, historical findings, liberty news, government overspending, and the rise of the police state. Freedoms with an S, phoenix.com, freedomsphoenix.com. And I saw this news with Bernie Sanders, and it immediately, my confirmation bias kicks in. I don't think Bernie Sanders has a shot because of his age. And I'm not trying to say that I dislike the guy or anything like that. I mean, I don't particularly like his policies, but I realize that we're going to have a Democratic nominee, and I think that Joe Biden is a terrible choice. So
I don't think the Democrats want to win this time. I think that the establishment Democrats realize that there is a financial meltdown coming, and they don't want to be holding the hot potato when the timer goes off. And I think this is why they brought the impeachment thing, the impeachment thing.
Okay.
And they're showing in this impeachment, I mean, please let the impeachment go forward because I want to read the discovery. I want to see the evidence of this. And what the evidence basically does is shows Joe Biden, threatening to suspend $1 billion worth of military aid to the government of the Ukraine unless they get rid of this special prosecutor who was looking into Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, over corrupt stuff. And somehow Hunter Biden got a job or a position in this big company. I forget what it's called, but it was the largest energy firm in the Ukraine, and his position paid him $50,000 a month. And this is also the same guy that was kicked out of the military for testing positive for cocaine. I mean, Biden is just a true corrupt. He's a Clinton.
He's an old politician.
Bush. Yeah. He's just a creepy, corrupt guy, and he brags about it. There was a video and a hot mic where he's bragging about how he basically threatened to withhold money to the Ukraine government unless they got rid of this prosecutor. And then Joe Biden is quoted saying something like, he goes, and darn it, didn't they fire that prosecutor the next day? So they got their money, whatever it was.
Sure. Now, I don't know, again, I don't know anything about this, but I would say that
there's a whole YouTube video of him saying it, the whole explaining the whole thing out.
For me as a libertarian, I'm just sitting here with a thing of popcorn, watching what's going on. I don't care what happens. It really doesn't matter to me.
I want to disrupt the DNC in a bad way.
I want to disrupt it all. But Trump really does disrupt the Republican Party, the RNC.
Yep. And Tulsi disrupts the DNC, and later on I'll tell you about my disruption plan that I want to spew to everybody.
Well, let's quick talk about the story about what happened with Bernie Sanders here. Just going on with this article here, since I've got bad vision.
And the thing with Bernie Sanders is I believe that last time around, the DNC stole it from Bernie Sanders. I do believe that when it comes to numbers and people actually motivated to vote, that Bernie last time around could have beat Trump.
I believe he could too. I don't know if they stole it from him, but Clinton clearly was prepared to stack the deck. I mean, it has every look of that. So
I would say yes, that the DNC did steal essentially the primary from Clinton, because the DNC is just as it's a private charity essentially. They can pretty much do whatever the heck they want, and they can change their votes around and do other things the same way in the primary here in New Hampshire. Ron Paul's votes were pretty much clearly given to McCain in 2012. There was a little screw up in one of the big Boston Herald or something, where they actually showed the correct thing, and there was a Campaign for Liberty sued, and just like the whole Bernie Sanders campaign did some lawsuits against the DNC, and the DNC is like, yeah, we can take his votes and give them to Hillary. And,
they can.
And super delegates. It comes.
Well, the super delegates are people, and those people, you know, they have a disproportionate sway on who gets to be the nominee and who doesn't. And I don't think it should be that way, personally. I think it should be the Democratic Party ought to be a little more democratic, is what I think.
Well, they're just a bunch of crooks, just like
and they
the
paid the
Republicans.
price. They, they decided to put up the most distasteful woman in America against one of the most distasteful men in America, and look at the results. Going on here from the Daily Beast. Senator Bernie Sanders' campaign announced Wednesday that that's today. The presidential candidate had 2 stents inserted after the discovery of a blocked artery, and that he will cancel his upcoming events for now. During a campaign event yesterday evening, Senator Sanders experienced some chest discomfort. Following medical evaluation and testing, he was found to have a blockage in one artery, and 2 stents were successfully inserted, said senior advisor Jeff Weaver in a statement. So, he felt tired, and this is what people with heart problems will often say. They just feel tired, and, it's been a long day.
Can you imagine a guy that's never actually worked in his life, a guy who was actually kicked off a communist commune for being too lazy, being the age he is, having, a blockage? I mean,
sure.
It's always these, people I know that have these heart issues and these blockages and things. They are generally, like, government bureaucrats that do nothing, well, I mean, that are unhealthy, they're not fit.
The heart disease is going to hit just about anybody at some point. But yeah, I mean,
comes on earlier. These guys who just don't do nothing.
Senator Sanders is conversing and in good spirits. He will be resting up over the next few days. We are canceling his events and appearances until further notice, and we will continue to provide appropriate updates. Sanders, 78, has maintained an extraordinarily busy schedule for years, tracing him from his first presidential run to the midterms and now his second bid for the presidency. The senator was among the 10 presidential candidates set to appear Wednesday in Las Vegas for an MSNBC-hosted gun control forum, and had events scheduled in California in the days after. After announcing a massive fundraising haul of $25.3 million on Tuesday, the Sanders campaign had also purchased its first television ad buy in Iowa, a key early primary voting state. Obviously, Iowa doesn't have a primary. They have a caucus because New Hampshire is the first primary in the nation. These ads began to get canceled on Wednesday, though. An aide to Sanders said it was simply a postponement. Let's go to the phones. We've got Joe from Michigan. Joe, what's on your mind?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering why Bernie didn't fly to Cuba, or Venezuela and get some of their great, socialist health care.
There is some socialist health care to be had there, right?
Yeah, all these wannabe Marxists in this country, Hollywood, and all these people, when they're stroking out in the sidewalk someplace, where are they going? They're going to the best hospital in the country.
Hold the line if you've got more, Joe. 855-453-03.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced 6-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad, and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people like passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. The number, 855-450-3733. 855-450-FREE as in freedom. You can call in either on those numbers, or you could use the Discord lines at discord.freetalklive.com. I want to tell you about Bitcoin.com. Bitcoin.com is, in my opinion, the first stop you should make when you want to learn about cryptocurrency. They've got a great like getting started section right there at the top of the page, and you can click on that and learn about cryptocurrencies, and they make it easier for you. You can buy Bitcoin Cash through Bitcoin.com. You can get wallets. You can get find out ways to find it in your local area. You can get news if you and they've got a real news department, not some kind of news department just reposts other people's stories. A real news department. As opposed to many of those other places. It's Bitcoin.com. Check them out.
And it's just simple, that Bitcoin.com. I recommend it to people because I give a discount when I, do property management work or whatever in cryptocurrency. And people, I've the next, hours later, they're like, what's your Bitcoin Cash address? Nobody is like, how do I get on there? Nobody's had to ask me a question. That's what just makes it, that's why I like about it. Everybody I referred it to it was easy.
I actually had an experience where I can point out the sort of crypto economy that goes on here in New Hampshire. I recently, I think it was last week or the week before, had sort of a brief consultation with an educational expert here in New Hampshire who has somebody who prefers cryptocurrency that plows her driveway. And I paid her for the consult. And apparently she's going to go on and then pay you in that cryptocurrency. So it's going around. This is
I know who this is. Yep.
the slow money thing. If you ever read the book Slow Money, I mean, this is what they were talking about. Spending local. Well, cryptocurrencies make it so that money stays in your area. So let's go back to the phones. We had Joe on from Michigan. Joe, you're back on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, my point is that, all these little wannabe Marxists in this country preaching down to everybody else. If you check them out, Michael Moore, all these guys, they don't practice what they preach, man. I guarantee you Michael Moore don't go down to Cuba to get his health care, and just like Bernie didn't say, hey, screw the, wherever he went, send me down to Castro's doctor or whatever down in Cuba. I mean,
never mind go to Cuba. These guys, like, they don't go to the ER, at the, local, place. I'm sure they got like their special like valet service boutique, whatever. I don't even know what it is. Bernie, the doctor, probably goes to Bernie. That don't happen for us.
Yeah, likely that's the case. But if Bernie can afford to pay the doctor and the doctor wants to go to give a private visit, he absolutely should be able to. It's just that it just shows sort of how they're out of touch. The same people that don't want you to be able to own a gun have armed people that stand around and protect them.
And those people who don't want us to own guns, don't want us to have guns because they're usually going to do things that will get them shot. Best I can tell.
In a free world, perhaps. Joe?
Yeah, they're, it's just like, Harrison Ford and all these guys are preaching down to us about global warming, but, they got, massive collections of classic cars and they fly their own personal jets around. And, look at what people do, not what they say. And, when somebody says I'm a socialist, first off, you can look at their life and see whether or not they're full of crap. And I don't know why people fall for like Bernie and all these idiots. I mean, Bernie Sanders is not a freaking Marxist. He's used it as he may have been when he was young, but he's definitely not anymore. And, that's all the Democrats are offering, man. And they set up obstacles to us. I mean, they don't live by the same laws that we live by. Bernie Sanders.
Their politicians are, they're disingenuous. They're using the political process to get where they are. I'm sure that there's plenty of people out there that support them. Thank you for the call, Joe. Appreciate it.
And we do essentially have socialism in this country, in the broad spectrum, where there's a lot of social programs that are paid for by government.
Social Security.
And essentially, the economy is the means of production are heavily regulated in this country. I mean, you can't produce anything. I mean, even like farming, our most simplest thing is. It is so regulated in the form of crop subsidies that, the guy who's growing chickens make organic chickens is asking $6.99 a pound for organic chicken, but you can go into Safeway and buy it for 69 cents a pound. That's socialism. But we export the poor parts of socialism to the other side of the world in the form of dropping bombs on countries that either threaten to not participate in the U.S. dollar or want to de-dollarize or putting sanctions on these countries. Either extreme, that is how the United States exports socialism.
Let's
the
go
bad parts.
Cody calling in from Texas. Cody, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, Mark. Glad to hear your voice. I was just listening to your podcast about your B-17 trip with Jack, and I went to Google just kind of remind myself what a B-17 looked like, and I saw that it looks like there's one less in commission. It was a crash today.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can imagine, I heard this story and I sat straight upright. For those who were listening to the podcast, I recently took a trip on the Aluminum Overcast, which is a B-17, one of, according to these folks, about 4 that are in the air, make that 3, and that are flying right now. Where you can get.
What is a B-17? An
B-17
airplane?
is an airplane that was a built-in. That started in 38 and ended in, I think, 45 in the U.S., although they were still in service until 68 in Brazil.
For military or?
Yeah, I think they were using it for military. It's a bomber. And as the B indicates, and an early bomber, as the 17 indicates. And lots of them crashed and lots of them got shot up and all that stuff. But there's a few that are flying out there. Many people have really great thoughts about them. The Memphis Belle's a famous one. And apparently one crashed at Hartford Airport just today. Now, I do not believe that is as I understand it, it is not the same airplane. Then it's not the aluminum overcast. That's not where they were headed. But you can believe that it was a mortality check for me. I was like, wow, that could have been me.
And
that could have been my family.
How bad was this crash?
Very bad.
Like people died?
Yeah, 7 people at this point are considered dead, and they took some to the hospital, and 3 were critically injured. Some of those may die. Who knows? Basically, an engine blew out. It's got 4 engines. I don't entirely understand what happened. An engine blew out. It attempts to turn around, somehow clips a maintenance building at the airport, and comes down a big fiery ball and a bunch of black smoke. Cody, what'd you hear?
Just what you said. Just saw the headlines. Thought of you. Called. Glad to hear your voice. Like I said, sorry for the families and anybody that was lives lost or injured today. But glad you're still around. You've been a part of my radio or my podcast anyway for the past 10 years or so. So anyway, glad you're safe.
Thank you for the well wishes, Cody. Appreciate that. Yeah, it was really very nice. We got an email. I guess they have a list of local media celebs or whatever terminology they have. It's just local media, and they sent me an email and said, "Hey, you want to ride on a B-17? All you got to do is do a story about it." And sure, I could do that for you. And they wanted up to 2 people from your media organization, and I'm like, well, I'm going to leave my wife on the ground, and who she is from my media organization, and I'm going to take my son up. They had no problem with that. They were happy to
That's cool.
Get a kid up in the air, and he spent the entire time up in the nose gunner area. So it's all glass or all plexiglass up there, and you can see in a way that you couldn't see otherwise. So this plane's flying low over Keene, and I'm like, look, Jack, that's the church at the top of the square, and that's this and that. And he really enjoyed the experience. I would say that it's a quirk. Obviously, a B-17.
So this is a big plane.
It's a good-sized plane.
How does one find that podcast that you did?
Go to archives.freetalklive.com, search B-17, and it should come up. Just search 17, I bet you it comes up. It's going to be in the month of September.
Oh, so, cool.
There you go. 855-450-3733. That's September 2019. 855-450-FREE. Free Talk Live.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have 2 convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Etsy. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Free Talk Live.
Good evening, Mark and Ian.
Hey, it's Scott the Bigot. What's on your mind tonight, Scott?
I know that America is in dire straits, and I know that the whole rotten Zionist-occupied government is going to collapse very soon.
When was the last time you went out and socialized with other human beings?
I get the pulse of the people, and I get the pulse of what's going on in this country.
How can you get the pulse of anything if you're cloistered within your apartment?
I know what's going on.
I mean, are you even getting out amongst other white separatists?
Yeah, wait, in a minute.
Is that your mom?
Wait a minute.
No, look, it's 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
I want it now.
So, gentlemen.
Who is that?
Yeah, you go loud.
Wait, is that your mother?
Yeah, I take care of her.
How old are you, by the way?
49.
Is your mom as bigoted and nasty towards other human beings as you are?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live. Before we get on with this story of Bernie Sanders having his heart surgery, I want to thank the amplifiers, especially Hugh Jorgen. Hugh is a platinum amplifier, so thank you, Hugh. All you have to do is go to amp.freetalklive.com. If you support a platform where people can get on and say what they want to say, well, we're here for you. If you support a platform that wants to promote the ideas of liberty, that's us too. So it's amp.freetalklive.com, and get on over there and help us get on more stations, get more podcast downloads, and that kind of thing. It's amp.freetalklive.com.
What is a platinum amplifier?
$25 a month, basically.
And
there's no extra benefit to being a platinum amplifier, except there's a pin that you can get that's a little Free Talk Live logo that says platinum amplifier on the bottom.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool swag right there.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So going on with this story from thedailybeast.com, apparently Bernie Sanders had some kind of heart situation, had a few stents put in. Until further notice, likely not very long. It doesn't take too long when it comes to stents. You can be out of the hospital. I mean, you can literally go into surgery at 6 a.m. and be out at noon.
I know some guys that got stents. They were 50s, 60s, but these were like truck drivers. And one guy was a logger, but he did all his logging from a cab of a machine. So he didn't do a lot of exercise. And, he ate at Wendy's every day and, ate at the diner every morning and, whatever. And anyways, he's healthier now at like 64 years old than he really ever remembers being.
It'll change your whole view of things, having a heart situation.
I mean, I want to be there for my grandbabies. And
that's why I quit smoking, is I had a kid.
But that stent, he was felt like he had a new lease on life. And basically the doctor was like, 100 years ago, you'd probably be dead.
You'd be dead.
Or suffering or whatever. And, he went from not being able to walk up the stairs of his house to after the stent, he could jog up the stairs of his house and not really an issue. And then but people hadn't seen him in years. He lost 80 pounds. And
I've always been kind of curious. If you get these stents, right? So this device that's in your, in your arteries, and then say you cut out most bad foods, can you wear away at the plaque that's in your arteries to the point that the stents just go free, and then they're being pumped around parts of your body and get lodged in things?
That's a good question. I don't believe it works like that. I think they're kind of like the way they're implanted, but your body definitely has the ability to really heal itself if you start doing proper nutrition and stop just consuming. I mean, when I lost a lot of weight, I went from a little over 300 pounds to 215 pounds in, like a year. I didn't really try hard. But one thing I did do when I got down about 275, I was like, you know what? I'm going to cut out all government subsidized food. And in about 3 months, I was down to like 215. Now I'm back up to like 230, but
it's tough being married, isn't
it? Yeah.
They cook better food than you do.
Yes.
So, what happened with Bernie Sanders here is apparently after the news broke, Sanders' 2020 Democratic competitors issued statements hoping for his well-being. Among them, Senator Elizabeth Warren, Democrat, Massachusetts, tweeted, "Bruce, Team Warren, and I are sending all our best wishes for a speedy recovery to Bernie Sanders and hope to see my friend back on the campaign trail very soon."
Yeah, they want his money. They want his support, every one of them. I wonder where the Bernie money's going to go.
So, that's kind of my question here is Bernie Sanders, I think, is out of it. He's the oldest guy on the campaign trail. He's older even than Trump, who's an old guy, I believe, if I remember correctly. And it's sorry to say, that's something that people look at when they're choosing for whom to vote.
That's why they are always hammering on Ron Paul about.
Right. They gave Ron Paul all kinds of trouble. And I think that personally, if I had to make a guess, I think Elizabeth Warren is going to take this whole
Hillary 2.0.
She's going to get the nomination because, she checks too many boxes. She's
the establishment frontman right now.
Right.
She has been establishment bought and paid for probably ever since she's been groomed as a child for this position. Who knows?
The leftists in the Democratic Party want their day in the sun. They want to say, well, we are UBI and minimum wage and health care, and they want all that stuff, right? Well, the Democrats don't particularly want the leftists in power. They want, same old corporatocracy, slightly left corporatocracy as opposed to slightly right corporatocracy, right?
I can't tell a difference. I just can't.
So if they let the leftists have their run in an off year, right, like a president running again kind of thing, the likelihood that a president doesn't get reelected is pretty slim. The economy is going to have to be pretty bad for Trump not to get reelected. And it's possible. There's something looming. But if so, do the Democrats really want to take over in another bad economy?
I really think the Democrats don't want to get it just because, just all the numbers, all this banking stuff. If you listen to Tim Paquette and his podcast and the thing he talks about, and
Liberty Advisor,
you have he's on Ernie Hancock's show, Declare Your Independence with Ernest Hancock in the morning a lot. And you listen to a lot of these guys just literally going to the Federal Reserve and Fed Bank of New York website page and just reading off things. Like there's all kinds of economic stuff that just doesn't make sense. And then you got, the Fed pushing the interest rates down more. There is like a meltdown, is imminent within the next presidential term is like literally the target for this, meltdown, according to all the guys that processes data and that, talk about it. And I really think that the DNC understands that they don't want to be. There's a hot potato. They're been thrown around for decades now, or a decade and a half, or whatever. And
they got it the last go around with
2008.
Obama, and it should be interesting to see what goes on in this next go around. But it seems like I don't know whether it seems like that they the party, right, don't care that much if they particularly win this one or don't expect to or something like that. But it's also interesting is that Tulsi Gabbard, the one candidate that sounds different than the rest.
Yes.
Because they're all basically trying to out-left each other right now. The one candidate that sounds different than the rest, she can't get a good press story, it seems. There's all these hit pieces out there against this lady, and I'm curious as to why they keep going after it. It seems to me like, well, the military-industrial complex does not like a soldier that speaks out against, bombing people in foreign countries, because they make a lot of money doing that. The United States has descended from, world-ruling status to the point that we have to drop $5 million bombs on people's, handmade huts. I was telling my son this, and he was laughing. He thought it was the funniest thing he's ever heard, is the idea that the American people are spending $50 million on a bomb that they're going to drop on a hut.
And I can understand.
It has nothing in it.
I could see Jack laughing about this, because how can you comprehend that? Where does that make sense? I mean, this goes against every rational thing that any 10-year-old who's got half a brain can comprehend. Of course it's laughable.
There's it's a war. This war on terror, as they're calling it. It's a war against the American people and against really, really poor people in foreign countries. I mean, sure, do they kill some bad guy now and then? I'm absolutely certain they do. But when you look at the numbers from the Obama administration, back when you could get some numbers on this stuff, of these people are killed, it's an outrage. I think what's another outrage is Democrats on Facebook saying, "Oh, the Obamas, they were such a good family, and there was no
war."
Well, not no war, but they were saying that there were no scandals in the White House. It ought to be a scandal if you use your remote control flying killer robot to drop bombs on innocent people's kids. That ought to be a scandal. It's scandalous that the American people don't find that to be a scandal. It's scandalous that you want to fawn over the last killer in chief because, he didn't get caught doing this or that in the White House. There's no dress as evidence. There wasn't this thing or that thing. It's disgusting.
Well, the problem is the media is so complicit in this that the American people don't even understand that there was drone strikes going on and bombings. Even people who hate Obama didn't even know that Obama had drone striked more people than all other Nobel Peace Prize winners combined. They had no idea of this.
That and fired more cruise missiles than all other Peace Prize winners combined. I had a sign out in front of my house that said that, and a liberal newspaper confirmed it as true. They did a fact check on it and said true. Not mostly true, true.
Nice.
855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. Go Dark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,480, silver at $17.27, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,305. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, a white former Dallas police officer who shot her black unarmed neighbor to death after, she said, mistaking his apartment for her own, was convicted of murder Tuesday in a verdict that prompted tears of relief from his family and chants of Black Lives Matter from a crowd outside the courtroom. The same jury that found Amber Geiger guilty in the September 2018 death of her upstairs neighbor will consider her fate after hearing additional testimony that started Tuesday afternoon. She could be sentenced to from 5 to 99 years in prison under Texas law. The jury took a matter of hours to convict the 31-year-old Geiger after 6 days of testimony. Cheers erupted in the courthouse as the verdict was announced, and someone yelled, quote, "Thank you, Jesus," end quote. After the verdict was read, Geiger sat alone, weeping at the defense table. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. An illegal march in Hong Kong held on Tuesday to coincide with the 70th anniversary of Communist Party rule in China had mostly petered out by the late afternoon as the bulk of protesters left the starting point near Sogo, according to a report from the Mind Unleashed. But still, as has become a pattern in recent weeks, a small but dedicated group of protesters clashed with police, hurling Molotov cocktails and coming to physical blows. But for the first time since the protest started 4 months ago, a protester was shot by Hong Kong police officers on Tuesday. As video circulating online shows, a group of protesters attacked a police van, hurling sticks and other projectiles. Several officers got out and tried to chase them away, but one of the officers slipped and fell to the ground, where he was assaulted by several protesters. That reportedly led to the firing of several warning shots at the intersection of Waterloo and Nathan Roads in Kowloon. 2 officers suffered head injuries during the attack. Shortly after the incident, during a separate scene on Hoi Pa Street in Tusan Wan, a man was shot in the chest with a live round. A pair of young inventors from Mexico will unveil the very first organic leather made entirely from the nopal, or prickly pear cactus, this week, offering a sustainable, stylish, and eco-friendly alternative to leather. According to a report from the Mind Unleashed, the 2 innovators will be traveling to the Linapel International Leather Trade Exhibition in Milan, Italy, on Wednesday, where they will present the innovative leather substitute to the world's top designers, in hopes that the product can become a staple in the luxury fashion industry. For 2 years, the 2 men worked on creating the leather alternative that they claim is not only environmentally sustainable and entirely plant-based, but is also breathable and lasts for at least a decade. The invention comes as consumers and brands increasingly turn away from inferior faux leathers made with petroleum-based plastics, which are hard to clean and far less breathable than genuine animal leather. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
The entire nation has been transfixed by the emotional saga of missing toddler Aaron Crawford. Police remain baffled by 4-year-old Aaron's mysterious disappearance. The Crawford family is finally speaking out, but it isn't easy.
We're taking it day by day, you know? We just miss our baby so much.
This must be so hard on everyone.
All he does is cry. I hate him.
Little Aaron was last seen in the bedroom he shares with his older brother, Denny. Authorities say he was abducted by an intruder in the middle of the night.
Denny was in the room when Aaron was taken.
Yeah, right here. Now it's just my room.
Denny, can you tell us what happened?
I was in my room. The man lifted up the window and came in.
Were you scared?
Yes, because I thought he's going to take my Xbox.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. You're free to call in and talk live here on the airwaves. That's what we do on Free Talk Live. It's Mark with you.
And Jay.
You can either call the regular old landlines, or you can use the Discord lines at discord.freetalklive.com. You'll sound like you're right in the studio. We were talking last hour about, well, looks like Senator Bernie Sanders has come down with some kind of heart attack situation, heart illness, coronary illness kind of situation, and had some stents put in. Now, he'll probably be back up and running here in the relatively near future, but I've been complaining that he's too old for some time. Like the last go-around, he's too old.
I just think that all the things he wants to do, first off, his socialism thing are, they're pretty ridiculous.
But all of them want the same thing. So he's not really any different.
Tulsi's not there in this stuff. She's
Tulsi Gabbard.
Right. Tulsi Gabbard's not like there in this stuff. I hear a lot of pundits that are anti-Tulsi say she's a socialist. The only couple of things I've heard her say about healthcare as president, commander-in-chief, they're basically ineffective on. They could, support Congress by not vetoing something that came through like that. But, with her, for example, it's, the anti-war thing is just she's like Ron Paul. She's consistently anti-war. Bernie is not anti-war. He has voted for sanctions. He has, as a senator, his voting record shows he's not anti-war.
He was a big proponent of the F-35, which was a $1 trillion airplane that basically can't outfly an F-16. He got lots of benefits for Vermont there. Now, I guess you could say that being pro-fighter plane isn't necessarily being pro-war any more than being pro-handgun is being pro-murder. But, I mean, it's really irresponsible as far as spending goes. By the way, if you want to go see, there's a great article out there by Counterpunch, which is basically a communist rag that says, no, Senator Bernie Sanders is not anti-war. And they make their case from their side. My side, I don't particularly care. Bernie never really floated my boat at all. I might have voted for him if the situation had been right in 2016, because I will always consistently vote for the most anti-war candidate. But fortunately, I had Gary Johnson, who was pretty anti-war though in 2012, if not so adamant on it in 2016. But they were running a different campaign at that point. So I was able to vote for Gary Johnson. I'm, as a libertarian, able to sort of sit back to some extent and laugh at all y'all who are fighting over who's going to win and who's going to lose. I've been proud of Trump on a few issues. I was pretty proud when he said that he wasn't going to bomb, was it Syria or Iran, because 135 people were going to die or something.
Yeah, well, I don't remember what. I think it was Iran. They said that Iran.
It's a problem that we don't even know which country it was.
Right. They said Iran sent a drone somewhere to do something to some boat in some water.
Right. It was Iran. And, I'm glad he did that. I've been glad to see what he's doing with Kim Jong-un. generally, Trump has made me pretty happy with his foreign policy. And as far as I'm concerned, the president's foreign policy is all that matters. That's what that's what the role is. If you're voting for a president based on domestic policy, you don't understand the Constitution. Domestic policy is put in place by the House and the Senate, not by the president. Yes,
Right.
they will veto or sign something, and sure, I can see why you might want your person, in for that, but that's not the reason. I think it was a Bill Clinton quote that if you complimenting the president on the economy is like complimenting the bull rider on the bull or something, like the bull ride. Basically the president has very little to do with these
complimenting the bull rider on how hard the bull bucks. The bull rider doesn't control that. So as a kid, I wanted to be a bull rider, and my dad wouldn't let me. So you get 50 points is a max for the rider, and 50 points is the max for the bull. And there's several different judges judging the bucking of the bull and also judging the action of the rider. So you could be the best bull rider in the world and get a bull that don't buck hard. You're not going to be in the money. So you can be a mediocre bull rider that just hung on and that bull bucked really hard, and you can beat those other guys. I mean, that's just the way bull riding works, and it's all the luck of the draw. And it also, this is competition for breeding, bucking bulls and all this, and they're worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's stupid.
Well, I mean, it's not stupid if it makes money, right?
Oh,
I mean,
yes, that makes money.
Bull riding is pretty much the only thing out of a rodeo that most people want to watch.
Oh, the girls love watching. My mom loved going to the rodeos if there was going to be hot bull riders. She goes, I want to see those cowboy butts on those bulls, and she just loved that.
Those guys are full-on athletes.
Oh, yes.
There's no doubt. And they take their lives in their hands going out there and doing that. It's a money sport. So, I mean, I may not like the money sport, whatever the money sport is, but I can appreciate that it puts butts in seats, and it sells ads, and it does these things that it's supposed to do. By all means, I'm not here to give it any trouble. Where were we? How in the world did we get on bull riding?
Speaking of bull, as in bovine feces and the DNC, I really want to disrupt the DNC. I want to see them be disrupted because they're disrupting this election. They've disrupted the last election. The RNC has disrupted elections. I've watched it firsthand. I did participate and watch the vote in 2008 and 2012. I didn't have a horse in the race really in 2016, so I just didn't care. As far as I'm concerned, there was nobody out there I liked. I was pretty much about Ron Paul.
I will pick my candidate based on somebody who has the likelihood. They have to have enough states that they're on the ballot in order to win. So they have to be on enough states to be able to win enough electoral votes to walk through this. I'll support somebody who manages to get on the ballot in that many states and has their name there where somebody can check it as opposed to writing it in or something like that. I just can't quite get myself around a write-in campaign for president because basically you can't win doing it.
So I want to get Tulsi's name on these ballots in all these states, and she's in the Democrat Party, and I feel the best way to support freedom right now on a national political level is for people to be in a position as voters to be able to vote in a Democrat primary. Now, this is what I've been telling people for about 2 weeks now. I've been having conversations with people. I've been picking up microphones at libertarian gatherings. I've been getting booed. I've been getting cheered, which is actually pretty funny when you're getting booed and cheered at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's like you people who are booing me, just please come talk to me.
I understand.
You're the guys I need to talk to.
That I understand why principled libertarians are like, Tulsi Gabbard, why do you support her? She's not a principled libertarian. And she's not.
Yeah, sure, she's not.
And but she is one of there's going to be a Democratic nominee. Would you like that Democratic nominee to be lukewarm on war, to be totally pro-war, or to be totally anti-war?
Well, now,
at this point, that's all that's happening, ladies and gentlemen. There is a Democratic nomination process going on. We're not talking about who's going to be president. We're talking about who the Democratic nominee is going to be. And if you don't understand that as far as politics, you need to think about it for a little while. So, do you have an opinion on who the Democratic nominee should be? Because I do. My opinion is it should be Tulsi Gabbard. Not because she's the world's most principled libertarian. She's not. But I'll bet she's paying a little bit more attention to libertarian philosophy these days than she did a few months ago.
She's getting huge libertarian support at all her town hall meetings.
Right.
And the number one threat to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness is freaking war. It is freaking war. And whatever we do to other nations of the world, I believe in karma, that we're going to receive karma. We're going to inherit karma, even though it's not the will of us people. It is the will of the politicians who are allegedly representing us.
I don't mean it in a spiritual sense. I mean that it's pretty obvious. I mean, you could go through. I just saw some chart that I can't remember. Maybe I saw it on, I don't know. Somehow it came up on my screen. It's like the nations that hate the U.S. the most. Look, I don't need any trouble from people in Argentina or Indonesia or whatever because they dislike the U.S.
Canadians just dislike us because of our foreign policy. I dealt with that when I used to do business in Canada.
Right, and I have nothing to do with our the United States foreign policy. 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE. Your opinions are welcome. Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico-Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico-Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico-Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click masternodes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org.
You will understand the true intent of the Founding Fathers when they wrote the Constitution if you attend this free webinar. Chris Ann Hall, president of Liberty First University, doesn't simply regurgitate what some professor or expert has said about the Constitution. She relays the thoughts and opinions of those who wrote the documents. Her straightforward, passionate, easy-to-understand style lets anyone grasp the principles of liberty. Join us at lfu.freetalklive.com to watch the free pre-recorded webinar. Watch now at lfu.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in freedom. We were talking a bit earlier about diets. We were talking about Bernie Sanders and his heart situation, and I don't know what Bernie Sanders' diet's like, but I think we all can agree that our diet affects our health, especially later in life. And if you're like me, you can't eat well every single time you have a meal. You choose not to. And I think Balance of Nature has a pretty good solution. They've got these Balance of Nature fruit capsules and the Balance of Nature vegetable capsules, and with just 3 of each, you get 10 servings of fruits and vegetables. This isn't a drug. This isn't an extract or anything like that. It's just food dehydrated and put into a capsule. And it's a lot of nutrition. People who take Balance of Nature report that their skin looks better, bags under their eyes go away, they have an increase in energy, back pain is reduced or goes away. That certainly will happen if you lose weight. Getting sick, less or not at all, eating a good diet is going to help you feel better. You can go online, become a preferred customer, which gives you the best pricing and free shipping. After your 3rd month, Balance of Nature will ship to you at no additional charge an extra set of fruits and veggies. It's a limited time offer. Don't wait. Go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code FTL. Balanceofnature.com, coupon code FTL. Let's go to Mike calling in from Washington, listening on KBKW. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, you guys. You were talking about Tulsi Gabbard. I really like Tulsi. I was a peacetime grunt, 80s, so I didn't see any combat. She's a soldier. I think Donald Trump is a soldier also at heart. He doesn't roll over. I think he's going to get reelected, but I hope if he does that he actually figures out a way to get Tulsi Gabbard to come to the other side and put her in a very important place, because I think she would be good for this country and there would be more of a balance between the two of them.
I'm not sure that what would happen if you were, Hawaii is a pretty thoroughly blue state. Like, there's like different types of Democrats in Hawaii, so much that the real process of getting elected is in the primaries in Hawaii. I don't know whether you would have much luck getting, whether it even be a good idea for her to switch sides. And by the way, she doesn't have to switch sides. She can be a Republican and work for the Trump administration.
I mean, she could be a Democrat and work for the
Trump.
Democrat.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I think a lot of people like her, and I think between the two of them, a lot of people would come together, which is what we're trying to get people to do anyway, not bumping heads for 4 years at a time. And I just think it would be more of a balance, because a lot of people on the left like her, and a lot of people on the right like her as well, I think, because she has no dirt. She's a soldier, and I think we need some soldiers, and I just think it'd be a good balance if he could get her up there somewhere, and she might knock him down a little bit, and balance things out. That's all.
Thanks for the call, Mike. Appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
To add to what Mike had to say there, I was actually having a conversation with so I got this nice sign, Tulsi banner out in front of my house. This was on a heavily traveled state highway.
I have a Tulsi sign out in front of my house, which is not on a heavily traveled state highway.
And, I'm often hearing horn beeps when people drive by.
Yep.
Now, I can't see what's going on at the road.
Supposedly, Tulsi's winning the yard sign competition in New Hampshire.
I believe that.
And that's meaningful. Well, so she was out of the debates, and then they brought her back in. For somebody to come back in from being kicked out of the debates is incredible.
There's been tremendous good press on Tulsi in the alternative media, in all the small media. There's all kinds of like whether it's Max Kaiser, Jimmy Dore, who's the governor, Ventura. Jesse Ventura has been talking about on his show. A lot of like RT, talk has been about Tulsi and just other YouTuber media, guys that. They're like these progressive dudes, and they're like talking like libertarians almost.
Right. I don't know everything there is to know about Tulsi Gabbard, but I know enough about her competition to know I don't like them.
Right.
So, the fact that somebody might go and in New Hampshire, it would be very easy to switch party affiliation and just go ahead and.
This is what I've been telling people to do. So for weeks now, I've been talking about Tulsi Gabbard. I've been. Getting booed by libertarians and Republicans a little bit when I pick up a mic somewhere and talk about this, which I don't really care. And I also get cheers. I get cheered, and I talk to them and say, "Hey, listen, the biggest threat to life, liberty, and a pursuit of happiness is war. Bottom line. Second, to everybody on a Democrat side, as far as I'm concerned, with the exception of Tulsi Gabbard, is absolutely terrible, and they are all one way or another going to just keep the war machine afloat if they become president." And I don't believe the DNC even wants to be holding this hot potato when everything melts down. That's a whole other thing. But just the fact that in New Hampshire, in order to vote for Tulsi Gabbard in the primary, you have to, I believe, 90 days, and I should have got this date before the show, but it's 90 days before the primaries.
And the primary is probably going to be in very early January this go around, which means that you would have to be prepared very early.
Like next week.
Yeah,
like
October.
Real soon. That's what I've been saying, and I talked to a few other guys last night, actually, at a New Movers party about, this, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's going to happen early, 2020, early 2020 is the primary. They weren't sometime in the spring, they were saying. But the thing is, New Hampshire, they changed it in 2012, the rules on this, that you had to be either registered unenrolled or registered Republican to vote for Ron Paul. This is why in 2012, Ron Paul came in second in the Democrat primary because people wrote him in.
And the Republican primary. He came in second in both.
Right.
That might be historically the first time that's ever happened. Now, news media didn't really report on it because I guess, the results of the New Hampshire primary sort of, don't qualify. In baseball, any stupid thing has a statistic, but Ron Paul getting second in both is pretty impressive.
So if you are anti-war, right now, it doesn't matter if you're a Republican or Democrat. If you're anti-war, if you want freedom, the thing that you can do is get yourself in a position in your particular jurisdiction where on primary day you can vote. You can cast your vote for Tulsi Gabbard.
Now, it's good to be able to cast a vote. I will point out also, Jay, that even if you can't cast a vote is that basically every dollar you send to the campaign is like another vote.
Yeah, so if you can send
as a Republican, you could send $1,000 to the Tulsi Gabbard campaign, and that's more meaningful than getting out and voting for her. Not to say you shouldn't, because she needs the votes too, but having signs matters. It's getting news.
And voting in a primary. So in New Hampshire, what you got to do is if you're currently a Republican, and this is probably very true in many places because they make it very difficult to get these Ron Pauls and Tulsi's any traction in a primary. They're all about keeping the establishment guys in there. So in New Hampshire, you need to next week you got to do this tomorrow. Go to your town hall, and if you're a Republican, get yourself either enrolled as a Democrat or unenrolled, and then you can go and you can vote for Tulsi in the Democratic primary. And then when you walk out of the polling area where you just voted, you say, hey, make me unenrolled again or put me back as a Republican.
Your call's next, 855-450-3733. It's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in. Talk about whatever's on your mind. That's what we do on Free Talk Live. That's what the amplifiers support on Free Talk Live. If you want people to be able to call in and talk about whatever they want to talk about, you want to give a platform to people to discuss things in real life as opposed to on social media, then Free Talk Live's your man or show or whatever. Go to amp.freetalklive.com as porcupinerealestate.com has done. PorcupineRealEstate.com is a gold amplifier, meaning they give us $10 a month. We ask for $5, and that's what we appreciate. That's, amplifiers and amplifiers as far as I'm concerned, but I'm glad for folks like Mark Warden, the Porcupine Real Estate, to support us. And I've had him on, actually, a couple of times, done some interviews.
He's such a good dude. I was talking to him last night at the New Movers Party in Manchester. They have a monthly get-together for new porks. People come to... for the Free State Project, and like the last 6-7 months, there's been people just pouring in from California and New York because they are leaving socialist nations, is the way they put it. One guy said it last night. One lady, actually, she's an immigrant from I forget, Ukraine or Russia or something, and she's like, I have left 2 socialist nations, she said, fled 2 socialist nations.
It's always interesting to hear the Eastern Bloc people talk about socialism in the United States, because I don't think people recognize it at all. But Mark Warden is a great example of how a good real estate agent can save you more money than they end up costing.
Oh, yeah.
And I bought my house with him, and,
people are very happy with his services. He's a great guy.
Olivia calling in from Arizona. Listen on YouTube. Olivia, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, Mark and Jay.
What's on your mind?
This is interesting about Tulsi Gabbard. I feel like this is the only place I really hear about her. She sounds really interesting, so I do hope that y'all talk about her some more. But
as long as she stays in the campaign, I'm willing to talk to her about her.
I think Mark mentioned that maybe someday you might move somewhere else, like to a different country, perhaps. Did I hear that? I was curious if you wanted to talk about that.
Sure, I'm happy
Some
to.
days the news is so depressing. I heard this new story about Texas made this law. If you protest the oil pipelines, they can slap you with a felony and 10 years in prison. It's insane.
Oh, I hope a lot of people engage in civil disobedience when it comes to protesting pipelines. I mean, the pipeline, actually, Tulsi was very much talks about Standing Rock and, and respecting property rights and, this tribal property. And, they put that, I can't remember what the pipe, it was a Keystone pipeline that went through there. Some pipeline went through there. And basically what they were very worried about, they go under a river that, supplies a lot of the water for the farms and the municipal drinking water within this Indian reservation. And that pipeline actually leaked, and it contaminated that river like months or a year after. I don't remember the exact timeline, but what the native folks were concerned about happened.
Yeah, in the news story I read, the Native Americans went to protest at the Texas State Capitol, and of course the brown-shirted goons threw them out on their behinds. It was pretty horrible.
As far as leaving the U.S., I have, I think that I don't think it's a single good enough reason that it's cheaper in Central American countries to retire there. There certainly are plenty of places in Central American countries that you can retire a bit more cheaply and that sort of thing. But you can retire pretty cheaply in Florida in certain places. Sure, you can't move to Naples and expect to retire very well. But, there are communities that surround Naples that are quite inexpensive. I mean, I was looking, for whatever reason, somebody showed me a house in Sarasota, Florida, not exactly a low-rent district. That was, it was, a trailer. But, I mean, a one-bedroom, one-bath trailer in a trailer park, an old people trailer park. And in Sarasota, a trailer park is not considered, bad digs because the old people take nice care of things. So $20,000. I mean, pretty much anybody can afford that. Obviously, you can go places where the food is a little less costly and a variety of things. But when you're talking about housing, pretty inexpensive. Once you're over the 62 or whatever, you get Medicaid, Medicare, and your Social Security kicks in. So I don't think that just the cost of living is a good enough reason to leave the U.S. But for me, I'm so frustrated with my fellow Americans. I'm just frustrated with listening to them babble on about their crap and the nonsense that they're upset about and this thing or the other thing. When they've let the country deteriorate to the point that it's $22 trillion in debt. Now, I'm not saying I'm moving next week or anything like that.
And it's far more than $22 trillion, by the way. But yeah,
that's not even unfunded liabilities.
What they're telling you about.
and they're complaining about this thing or that thing, whatever it is. It's all insignificant compared to what has happened to the U.S. And people can call me unpatriotic because I won't stand for the pledge, but I won't stand for the pledge because I don't believe in loyalty oaths like the founding fathers don't. They can say that I'm, unpatriotic because I'm willing to leave. I'm mostly interested in leaving because I'm sick and tired of what Americans have brought America to. I think that immigrants to this country are better Americans than Americans are. And that's a pretty sad thing to say.
Oh, I've experienced that with the guys I worked with in Colorado. I mean, I have often said about talking to my stepfather about my little sister. I'm like, I says, my little sister would do a lot better marrying one of these, Mexican illegals that work in your operation than any white dude I've met around here, because they're good. They have good values. These people, they work hard. They care about their mom. They care about their brother and sister. They care about their kids. They have like these family values you just don't really find in like the average American. It's gone in the average American.
Go ahead, Olivia.
Oh, no, Mark, I feel you completely, really, every day. Well, especially today, for some reason, I'm in a funk, and I'm just like, man, it sounds good, some island somewhere, tropical island.
Well, I've been to quite a few of them, and I generally have a nice time on those tropical islands. They cost a bit more for the people, the tourists. They cost more for, but you can live pretty cheap there. I was in Belize a few years ago, and we stopped off at a roadside stand and paid, I think, $4 for a plate of food. It's pretty inexpensive to eat if you eat at the right places. Obviously, you can find.
And the food's good.
Yeah, the food was good. It was everything's organic because they don't even know what inorganic means. They don't even know the difference. Thanks for the call, Olivia.
So Tuesday, February 11th, is primary day in New Hampshire. I just Googled it. So there's some information. I'm going to figure out where the 90-day point is, and come on.
I think each state. The best thing to do is to encourage people to check out your state's rules as far as re-registering. Now, Rush Limbaugh did this at one point too. This isn't particularly unusual. There's no reason. Look, who's going to win the Republican primary? If you're a Republican or you're undeclared, then who's going to win the Republican primary? If you don't think it's Donald Trump, then, well, I got news for you. So you might as well register Democrat and vote in the Democratic primary.
And vote for Tulsi. If you really want your vote to maybe kind of sort of count a little bit, I'm not saying when you go do this, your vote's actually going to count, but it's really not. But it's going to kind of sort of count a little bit.
The question is, will it matter? Not if it counts. When I, here in New Hampshire, I lived in a little town. They had a big brown box that they put all the ballots in. And you could stand there all day, literally stand there all day and watch people put stuff into this box. And then you could be there and watch them pull all the ballots out of that box and count them up. And you could, if you wanted, count them up too. So anybody who says that, all the elections are rigged in America, well, I know one that's not. And sure, they can throw certain elections. Basically, it only matters in certain counties where the votes go. I mean, these people that do the political thing, they've really got it down to the counties. But I think it's to me, if you care about it, you might as well vote. That's my opinion. 855-450-3733. You can give me yours. 855-450-FREE here on Free Talk Live.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
This is George Norrie from Coast to Coast AM and History Channel's Ancient Aliens, and we're proud to promote amazing energy, nutrition, and skincare products from Jeunesse. Visit gcnlife.com for products like Luminesse. The Luminesse anti-aging skincare line restores youthful vitality and radiance to your skin, reducing the appearances of fine lines and wrinkles with stem cell technology. There's also Instantly Ageless, which works within 2 minutes, reducing under-eye bags, fine lines, wrinkles, and pores. Jeunesse has products to help you with how you look and feel in a very short time. Nobel-nominated Dr. Vincent Jampapa has designed several products helping the body perform better. Jeunesse products have a 30-day money-back guarantee, and they're available up to a 25% preferred price discount. See all of the amazing Jeunesse products at gcnlife.com or call toll-free 1-844-443-6637, 1-844-443-6637.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live, final segment.
And we will be doing Freer Talk Live tonight. Myself, Silver Dave, and Nobody. I should have mentioned it a little earlier, and it will only be on the Discord and Twitch feeds, I believe.
So you go to discord.freetalklive.com and twitch.freetalklive.com. I think it's twitch.lrn.fm too, and then discord.lrn.fm will also work. Possibilities, but personally, I don't think that LRN.FM it necessarily seems like a URL to people. So I like to use freetalklive.com. So.
And we'll just be kind of joking around, just talking about things that are on our mind. Nobody's running for mayor, and Silver Dave's always got good things to bring up and talk about. And he's a college student now, and he's having fun over here at Keene State, and it's just a little fun for us, and we get to learn how to run the first chair and, use the board, and it's good practice, and it's just fun.
Well, it's a lot of it's three guys that are sort of known for their ability to say wild things here on the air, with the ability to say even more wild things off the air.
Because it's pretty much uncensored. You know, we can use the words that we can't use on the air.
Right, a whole variety of them. I know they get used. So it's what's the best bet? Twitch.lrn.fm.
I think that is the best bet, yes.
So put that in your URL, twitch.lrn.fm, and watch the after show, Free or Talk Live. Let's go to David calling in from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, somebody made the mistake of mentioning Harrison Ford, so I have to say,
you met
Harrison Ford's wife served me a glass of wine at their house one time.
Oh, that sounds
their
like
ranch.
Where's the
Jackson,
ranch?
Wyoming.
In
Jackson, Wyoming.
I see.
Yeah.
So they still
Right
have
on the
this
Snake
ranch in
Creek.
Jackson?
I'm sure he does. I don't know that for sure, but I'm sure he does.
I think Ricky Schroeder's out in Wyoming, or maybe it's Colorado. I don't know. Looked that up one time.
There's some beautiful places all out there.
Man, I was in near Jackson Hole, and that's where essentially Yellowstone is, if I got that right. And it's gorgeous. I mean, Yellowstone is just gorgeous, especially all those weird colored lichens that only live in that particular area. You go out there and see the Old Faithful and the geysers and all that stuff. It's amazing.
Yeah, sure is.
So what's on your mind, David?
The bubble-headed bleached blonde that comes on at 5.
Yeah, what is that? That's Eddie Money song?
Close. Okay. Don Henley.
Okay.
That tell you about the plane crash with a gleam in her eye.
There was a plane crash that just went on today.
Yeah, it's a hobby of mine to when a plane crashes, I like to listen to the bubble-headed bleach blondes on the television and the radio make all kinds of speculations and such. And I can pretty much tell you what happened to this plane just from all I see is one still photograph and have like one sentence of report as to what people saw, and I can pretty much tell you what happened.
Well, tell me.
Is that the dude lost one or more engines on takeoff, probably just one. It sounds like his number 4 engine. There was, which in an older airplane that they may not be getting as much power out of those engines as when it was brand new, or who knows, they might be getting more. I don't know. Theoretically, that airplane should be able to maintain level flight probably with 2 engines, and if it's lightly loaded. So they should have been fine with 3 engines remaining, but who knows whatever else the circumstances are. And then, so what when a pilot loses an engine on takeoff, what he wants to do is he wants to come back around and land if possible. And then here's where the problem comes in: is very experienced pilots. This generally doesn't happen to. It's lesser experienced ones or ones that don't have balls of steel. And so what they're doing is they're taking off in one direction. In order to land, they basically need to make a U-turn to come back. And if you're underpowered and just barely staying maintaining altitude, as the report was in this case, getting lower and lower, inexperienced pilots or nervous pilots, they keep trying to make that turn and come around and come around and come around, but turning requires more power than just going straight ahead. And
makes sense.
So that makes the problem worse because you keep losing altitude more rapidly than if you just level the wings and do whatever you got to do straight ahead. And so he apparently he made it all the way around back to the landing end of the runway that he took off of, but just a day late and $1 short, and didn't touch down in control, and then apparently lost control on the ground and went off the runway and hit a structure. And then you see the smoking hole in the ground thing in the photograph. What he should have done, and this is assuming I'm correct.
For those who didn't get to see it, by the way, this is a B-17 that crashed today in Hartford at Hartford's Bradley Airport. Go ahead.
Connecticut.
Yeah, Connecticut.
Yeah, and what he should have done, assuming I'm correct, and I can be wrong, because like I said, I'm going off of a picture of a smoking hole in the ground and one sentence or two sentences of a witness report. And what he should have done, if I'm correct, is he should have recognized that he's not for sure The outcome, as a matter of fact, this is part of the verbiage in an airline transport pilot flight test, quote, with the outcome never in doubt. And for the commercial pilot's license, which is a license below the airline transport, it says never seriously in doubt. And what happened is apparently the successful completion of this maneuver was in doubt, and I'd even say seriously in doubt. What he should have done is he should have gone more or less straight ahead. He could have, angled off 30, 40 degrees right or left and looked for the most open place ahead of him to put it down. And granted, that may have been a fairly congested area where there were no good options, but the alternative was, the alternative got half the people on board killed anyway.
Yeah.
So,
and quite a few of the rest are in critical condition. They may not make it either. Yeah, it was certainly a bad result.
Yeah. So anyway,
it's a sad story. Thanks for the call, David.
Yep.
855. Well, I've given the number. It's pretty much over and done with here. When we were talking earlier, Jay, about this sort of retiring to a foreign country, I was talking about just sort of my distaste to some extent, just for sort of what I see America turning into.
I enjoyed your PorkFest talk on this, and then I actually listened to it again because it's on freekeen.com.
Mm-hmm.
There's I don't know where, if you probably Mark Edge, freekeen.com, and your talk was about
I wish my talk was better. Didn't have my my notes weren't things weren't working as well as I would have liked.
You did well with it, though.
It was fine. Okay.
You did well for the crowd that was there. Right? And you talked about your special economic zones
and
stuff. It was interesting. I learned a lot from that talk. That's why I listened to it again.
And, for me, I think of this story, right? So the Saracen horse riders, you might know them as the Mongols, the Huns, or a whole variety of names that they've been throughout history. But
horse soldiers.
Yeah, horse soldiers. These people lived in pretty much the most difficult circumstances that a person can live in, which was the steppes of, like southern Russia, the Mongolia, this kind of general area.
They would generally drink the blood of mares because the mares could handle the blood being basically drawn out of them and survive survive.
A little bit. Yeah, they get to get some protein. It was hard to live where they lived.
Yep.
And they would every few generations rise up and take over some places and then kind of get beaten back or whatever. They may hold a city here and there and that kind of thing. What they found over time is that their children, they may be able to they can take over a city. They can lay siege to a city, they can take it. Their children couldn't rule, because they didn't have that steel in them that their dads did, because they weren't raised out on the steppes.
Right.
They were raised in courts with silks and tutors and fine clothing and these sorts of things, and they just weren't able to hold on.
It's like the generations of wealth thing, where the people earn the wealth, people make the wealth worth more, then the grandchildren usually piss through it, kind of deal.
And we see this all the time. I mean, how many people do you know that, I'm generally talking about white Americans here. How many white Americans do you know that can't tell a story about a rich grandfather or a rich great-grandfather, that if they'd only been in this particular line of the family, maybe they'd have had some more money or whatever. But it's always this one guy who made a bunch of money, and then everybody else frittered it away. Well, I feel like that's what's happened with the country. Some people made a lot of sacrifices to build this up to be the greatest nation on earth, and then not so much anymore. 855. I'll give you the number. Go to freetalklive.com. Sign up for our newsletter there. It's been Mark with you.
And Jay.
Or telegram.freetalklive.com. You can see our show prep there. Telegram.freetalklive.com. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. GoDark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths.